So welcome. All right, you're all on mute. But of course, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Welcome to Heat Wave Yoga. Depending on where all of you are, I'm sure you are well above the 90s today, at least for something, and probably feeling a lot worse. So I'm going to have a couple things that are cooling in nature, or, you know, the intent of them is to have a cooling quality on your body. And so while this wasn't specifically my intention, Mary, thanks for asking, because starting in a heart bench can have a nice cooling quality. We're going to start kind of slow. We're not going to move fast and really intense. There's no need for 500 sun salutations today because the sun is doing that for us. But if you come into your heart bench, whether on the blocks or on your beach towel, we're opening up the chest. We're letting the arms come out by the side. Palms face up. And you're going to let gravity open up the front of you. So you kind of let your arms be heavy. Let them drop towards the floor. Legs can be extended out long, or you could also do feet together, knees out wide to the side. And then again, just kind of let your legs be heavy. Just let them fall. And we're just going to take, let's say, 10 long, slow breaths. Direct that inhale to come all the way down to the base of the torso. And that exhale to go all the way out through the crown of the head. Relax tension in your jaw. Soften the skin between the eyebrows and on the side of the eyes. You know, especially if you've been out in the sun today, the face can get really scrunched and kind of held because it was so sunny. So relax your face. If you want a little extra shoulder stretch, you can take your arms kind of behind your head, grab hold of opposite elbows. Notice that if that's really disruptive to your breath. If it is, bring your arms back to the side because you still want to be able to take those big, slow breaths all the way down to the base of the torso on the inhale, all the way up through the crown of the head on the exhale. If you did the arm position above the head, just switch your forearms so you've got the opposite forearm on top. And again, notice how that feels to your breath, if it's disruptive or not. You want to be able to keep breathing. And then from here, just bring your arms back by your side, turn your palms over, push into the ground, peel yourself up to sit. And then before we start the active postures, I want to teach you a breath exercise that you will use right now in the beginning, we'll use at the end, but if anytime during the practice you want to try to use it again, feel free to do it whenever makes the most sense for you. So it's called Shatali breath, and it's basically you take You have to be able to roll your tongue. I'll come in close. So you've got option one, which is like a straw, okay? And I understand some of you can't do that. It's like a genetic thing. You either have it or you don't. So if your tongue doesn't go like this, I feel this is like in honor of the start of maybe baseball again. It looks like the Philly Fanatics tongue. If you can't do that, you're going to take the tip of your tongue and tuck it back behind your teeth so your straw goes side to side. So it's like this. I can't really do that one. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to use that tongue roll either front to back or side to side to suck in air. And then you're just going to have a normal exhale. So it looks like this. And if you do it the other tongue roll way, which I can't really do, does that make sense? If you want to turn your camera off now so nobody can see the silly face that you make, feel free to do that. So we're just going to do 10 of those. You're going to sit with your eyes closed and you're going to inhale, try to sip the breath in, whether you're kind of doing that side to side tongue or the straight back tongue, and then exhale, let your breath out. Think about when you eat something spicy, you kind of do these like sucking air in. There's a cooling quality to it. Inhale. Exhale, normal. Do about 3 or 4 more at your own breath pace. Take a few breaths here and just notice what you feel. If you haven't already, set an intention for practice. Kind of decide what's going to anchor your brain into the next, 45 or 50 minutes. It's easier to get distracted and agitated when it's hot. So have that intention be something that's kind of easy to anchor into. And of course, as we go through this, if you want to try that breath at any point during the practice, do that. We'll do it all again together at the very end. From your seated position, we're just going to inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, flip your palms, get nice and tall, and then just make some little movements side to side. Ribs go out to one side, hands go to the other. Notice if one side feels tighter than the other. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, we're going to twist over to the right, left hand forward, right hand behind you. Push into that right hand. Extend your spine. Exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. Think about your right elbow kind of moving back behind you to pull the right shoulder away from the right ear. Sit up tall and then drop left ear over to left shoulder. So the result will be a little more stretch through the right side of the shoulder. Kind of opening up this line from ear to shoulder. Pull that right elbow back in space. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Come back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms nice and tall. Switch the lineup of your legs. So whichever one was in the front goes to the back. And again, do that nice little side to side movement. Just kind of small. Again, maybe noticing if one side feels tighter or more restricted than the other. Notice if the shift in leg position has kind of changed the way your hips feel or your ribs feel. Back to center, sit up tall. Exhale, you're going to twist left. So left hand behind, right hand to the left knee. I'm going to kind of give you side view here. So push the left hand into the floor. Pull your left elbow back in space. That gets the shoulder away from the ear. And maybe kind of tuck it in towards the midline of the body. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, drop right ear towards right shoulder. Keep pulling left elbow back. And we're just going to take a few slow, deep breaths, open up kind of that sideline from ear to shoulder. 2 more nice, slow, deep breaths in here. And then go ahead, unwind. Bring yourself to hands and knees, coming onto your mat. Bring you all in a little closer. Good. Just do a few cat-cow. Inhale, arch your spine. Tailbone up, belly down, lift your face. Exhale, round your spine. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button up, drop your head. Inhale, tailbone up, belly down, lift the face, collarbones wide. Exhale, round down. Good, this time you're gonna inhale, come to a neutral spine. So you're nice and long here. And you're gonna shift. So now your knees are touching, but your hands are out wide to the side. And I just want you to do almost like a little flossing action. You're gonna kind of drop. So I'm dropping my right shoulder towards the floor, putting a little more weight in my left hand. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, shift. My left shoulder drops down, my right hand holds me up. And then kind of go back and forth, kind of feeling your shoulder blades slide around a little bit as you do this. Maybe feeling a stretch through the front of the arm and the bicep. And noticing how that feels. And then come back to center, walk your hands in close, so shoulder width distance apart. And now you're gonna shift your hips. So right hip, hips go to the right, and then squeeze the inner thighs to come back to center. Exhale, drop them left. Squeeze the inner thighs, bring them back to center. Let me give you the side view again. When I drop my hips out, I'm really trying to make it be a straight line out. It's not circling up towards my hands. Feeling maybe some more stretch kind of lower on the hip. Maybe a little bit up by the glute. 2 more in each direction. And then come back to center. Curl your toes. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Pedal out the knees just a little bit. Maybe rock weight side to side. And then take a little walk, feet to the top of the mat. Grab hold of opposite elbows. Give your head a nice big shake, yes. And then maybe shake it, no. Switch the lineup of your arms so that the opposite forearm is in the front and do that exact same thing. A little bob, yes. A little side to side, no. Release your hands. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up to stand. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer hands. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer hands. Wait a minute, I'm in the weeds. You need to be able to see my hands. I'm gonna shift my camera yet again. Okay, we're gonna do palm tree vinyasa. So it's cooling, it's supposed to be cooling, and it's a little less vigorous than a full sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Now that I'm doing this, I've decided I'm gonna mirror you. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms. So as you exhale, I want you to think hands go to the left, hips go to the right. Think palm tree kind of bending in the wind. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, you're gonna twist right. So the Right hand goes back, the left hand goes forward. You're pulling your right hip forward in space. Inhale, come back up. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms, exhale. Let's drop, hands over to the left, hips to the right. Get as big as you can. Press into both feet. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, twist left. Left hand goes back, right hand comes forward. Keep this left hip driving forward too. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, forward fold. Bring hands onto the shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine. I'm gonna give you side view now. Knees are softly bent. Bring your weight forward. You're gonna sweep your arms out to the side. Think tabletop plus. Interlace your fingers. Push into the floor. Inhale, come back up. So that's one round. We're gonna do this one breath per movement. Nice and tall, big deep breath in, shoulders drop down. Exhale, side bend to the right. Hips go to the left. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, you're gonna twist to the right. Right hand back, left hand forward. Inhale, center, interlace your fingers. Exhale, side bend. Hands left, hips right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Left hand back, left hip forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Hands around the shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Weight comes forward. Big sweep. Inhale. Hands come out in front of you. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, press into the floor. Inhale, come up. Let's keep going. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Watch this thumb. Exhale, twist back to the right. Inhale, center. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, center. Watch your left thumb as you exhale, twist left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Palms are on the shins. Inhale, get long here. Lift the chest. Exhale, sweep the arms out in front of you. Interlace your fingers. Take a breath in. Push into the floor. Exhale, come up. Inhale, get tall. Last time. Exhale, little side bend. Over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale, center. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Hands on the shins. Inhale, get big. Lengthen the spine. Weight towards the balls of the feet. Gather the arms out to the side. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms. Exhale, heels into the floor. Come up. Inhale. And then exhale. Let's just do prayer hands. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Maybe take a nice big deep breath in here. Exhale, let it out softly. If you want to do the straw, that Shatali breath, inhale. Exhale, let the breath out softly. 2 more breaths here in this mountain, with or without your straw. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold yourself forward. Bring your hands onto your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Let's do, I'm going to turn sideways again. Step the left foot back, come into a lunge. Feel free to use your blocks if you want to. Right heel is right under the knee. Feet press into the floor. Drive that right hip back in space. We're going to drop the left knee down into space. Keep the left foot on the floor. Inhale, big sweep. Sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Both palms are going to come down onto that front knee. Press down. As you're kind of pressing down, drive that right knee forward. Think about your left hip crease also coming forward, or hip crest rather, top of the hip. Push into that left foot. So the more you push down, the more you'll feel kind of the front of this left leg open up. Your choice if your toes are curled under or over. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, let's bend the elbows out to the side. Open up your chest. Stay here. Or if it feels okay, bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, knuckles draw back towards the back of that left knee as the chest lifts up. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky, twist. Pull that right hip back in space, left hip forward in space. We have some work on the inner thigh. You want an extra quad stretch and you're ready for it. Sometimes that's the benefit of a little extra humidity. You can get a little deeper into things earlier. Maybe catch that left foot. Slow, deep breath here. And then exhale, carefully release that foot to the ground, hand to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. Just pedal out the knees a little. See how this one feels. Hips can sway a bit side to side. And then we're going to inhale, come forward, high plank, top end of a push-up. Exhale, come all the way to the floor. Check where your hands are. I want you to line fingertips up with the bottom third of the ribs. Elbows squeeze in towards one another. Pull those elbows back in space. Inhale, lift chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself back down on the ground. Do that same thing. Push into the feet, push into the hands, elbows pull back. Inhale, chest comes off the ground, then the head. Exhale, go back down. One more time, elbows pull back. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. We're going to the lunge on the other side. Left foot lift, inhale. Exhale, let's bring that left foot all the way forward. Coming into our lunge. Left knee and ankle line up. Pull that left hip back in space, the right hip forward in space. And then when we're ready, we're going to put that back knee down onto the ground. Keep your foot on the floor, keep your knee on the floor, right hip towards that left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, just bring your hands down, find that front thigh. Press down into the front thigh, lift the chest. Drop your elbows down, collarbones are wide. Left knee goes forward, right hip crease goes forward. Pay attention to this right leg. If you push, whichever way you want your foot, top of the foot down or toes curled under, push into that foot so we feel the front of this hip flexor start to open up. Good, as you lean back. And then maybe we'll add arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Bend the elbows. So the elbows bend kind of out to the side. You can pull those elbows out, open up the chest a little more, and usually it's going to be less strain on those upper shoulder and neck muscles. You can still do some work without a lot of strain. And then if you want to, we're taking the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, knuckles slide down that right leg as the chest lifts up. Again, keep the neck nice and long. Collarbones are wide. Maybe you can sink a little deeper into this. And then we're going to come out, right hand to the floor, left hand to the sky. Right hip and left knee are moving forward as you twist. And if you did it on the other side, you might be able to catch this back foot. 3 breaths here. Go ahead, release your foot to the ground. Pick that back knee up. Step the back foot forward, fold. Inhale, come on up to stand. Sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. Hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, you're stepping back into downward dog. I'm coming forward just so you get a different angle. From here, inhale forward, high plank, top end of a push-up. Exhale, come all the way down to the ground. So we're going to do left arm. Sorry, I'll mirror you. Let's do right arm out to the side. If you've got stuff with your shoulder or your elbow, Your hand doesn't have to be right in line with your shoulder. It can be back a little bit, and you can have a little bend in the elbow. This is my left hand, or fake left hand. Left hand on the floor, right next to the shoulder. You're gonna push into the floor with your left hand. Inhale, pick up that left leg behind you. Rotate, open the hips. Drop your left big toe to the floor behind you. And then exhale, come back to lie down on your belly. We're just gonna do a couple of those with breath. Inhale, big lift. Reach that left foot up. See how far back you could go. Land your toe. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, lift way up. You can keep your head on the floor so the neck doesn't have to work. Exhale, back to center. One more time. Inhale, lift, get big. You're gonna drop those left toes to the floor. Lift the left hand up to the sky. You might be able to drop that left hand back behind you. Some people can actually hold hands with themselves in this position, where the top hand meets the back hand. Not one of those some people. I like to take this top hand, rotate it so my thumb is down, and then drop that arm behind the back so I can kind of lean into my hand. But play with it. See what makes sense in your body. Keep your head relaxing on the floor. You might even put a block under this right ear. Okay. Take that left hand, lift it up. Oh, roll back. Let's just take a little shimmy from side to side. This move always reminds me of the way the gopher dances at the beginning of Caddyshack. Okay, and then you're gonna do other arm. I know you're all laughing, it's just that you're on mute, my bad. Left arm reaches out to the side. Hand is in line with shoulder, unless it's better for your shoulder for it to be back a little. You're gonna take your right hand, push it onto the floor. Push down into that. Inhale, lift right foot way up. And then sweep it way back. Exhale, come back to your starting point. Inhale, lift that up. Exhale, sweep it around. Back to starting point on the exhale. Inhale, really big movement, sweep. Come back. Two more like this. Inhale, lift that right leg. Back to center. Last one. You're gonna hold it. You're still trying to get that knee to go up. Lift your right arm. Maybe drop it behind you. Palm up. You can hold hands with yourself. You can do that little rotation. Back of the hand against the back. Chest open. And then go ahead, unwind. Come back to center. Bring those elbows right underneath your shoulders. Give your shoulders a little movement side to side. Make sure they're still all connected and happy and in the right place. And then we're gonna walk our hands back. Fingertips are in line with the lower third of the rib. Press down into the floor. Pull your elbows back. Curl your toes under. Knees and toes press onto the floor. You're just gonna pop yourself up into a knee down plank, okay? So notice, all right, here's the start of the metaphor. You are not a piece of saltwater taffy that has melted onto the beach. That's kind of like a, okay? This is more of like a pop-up. This is the little plank. Pull your elbows back, push into your hands, push into your knees, boop, you're up, okay? If you feel like you in no way at all resemble saltwater taffy, and you think you can do this in one movement without the knees, you can do that too. Curl your toes under, pull your elbows back in space, lift your belly up, push into the ground, exhale, up. Good. Downward dog. I wasn't looking at anyone, I was just making sure I did it without a big, huge grunt. Right foot's coming forward into a lizard lunge. Right knee hugs into the right shoulder. Left heel presses back. We're keeping that left knee off the ground for a breath or two. I want you to do right knee out to the side and then pull it into the right shoulder. Try not to move your left leg. So again, we are abandoning this saltwater taffy image of ourselves. This is something that's really kind of stable. All you're doing is moving that right hip, right leg really, in the hip socket. Got it? Okay. Right foot presses down into the ground. Left heel presses down into the ground. We're going to inhale, cartwheel up, warrior two. Exhale, straighten the right leg. I'm sliding back onto my mat. Let's go triangle pose. Right hand comes forward and down. Find your shin or the block. Left arm comes up. Take that left arm, spin your thumb back towards your back heel. Drop the arm behind your back. Reach that left hand as far down as you can. You might even be able to hook onto the right hip. Look down. Drop your shoulder. If this bothers anybody's back, give yourself a little more space left to right between your feet, because I want you to be able to draw your bottom ribs back into that left arm so we increase the left shoulder stretch. Big easy breath here. Exhale, rebend this front knee. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. The left hand still hugging onto the right hip. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step back, high plank. Good, take a big deep breath into this high plank. Try not to be saltwater taffy. You can use your knees or not. Exhale all the way to the floor. Uncurl your toes. Whoop. I'm turning back around so you get the front view of me. Actually, I need a camera person. Does anyone know someone that will come to my house and just shift our views for us? Okay. I want you to see my hands slightly sideways. So your fingertips are on the floor, a little wider than shoulder width distance, okay? You're stretching them out in front of you, but you have to be able to bend your elbows just a tiny bit. Forehead is on the ground. Elbows kind of pull up to the sky. I want you to draw your elbows back in space, like you're trying to get your elbows into the back pockets of jeans. Push into the ground. Inhale, chest, then head. This shouldn't feel like a lot of work on your neck. It should feel like a lot of work going down this tricep into the shoulder blade area. Head to the ground. Walk your hands in, one handprint top to bottom, and then out to the side, one more widthwise. Lift your elbows up. Pull them back in space. Trying to get those elbows into your back pockets. Push down. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, come down to the ground. We're gonna walk our hands in, one more handprint, top to bottom. You're getting closer. Side to side, you're getting further. Draw those elbows back in space. Push into the floor. Come up, chest, then head. Exhale, go down. Last position. Your hand should be like right in line with your shoulders. Out nice and wide. You're not doing a lot of work here. All of this work comes below the shoulder blades and onto the triceps. Elbows pull back. Press into your feet. Lift chest, then head. Kind of as big as you can. Okay. Come back down. We're going to do one more set of those. Hands walk out to the starting position. They're reaching way out in front of us. Hands are at least shoulder width distance apart. We're gonna pull the elbows back in space, push down into the ground, chest, then head. Exhale, come down. Walk your hands in, one handprint top to bottom. Out to the side, one more widthwise. Pull your elbows back in space. Push down into the ground. Chest, then head. Exhale, come down. Second to last position, I think. Just in front of your shoulders. Elbows are out wide to the side. Pull them back. Inhale, lift chest, then head. Exhale, come down. Last position. Hands line up with the shoulders. Pull those elbows back in space. Push into the floor. Inhale, lift chest, then head. Good. Exhale, go ahead, bring yourself down onto the ground. Elbows on the floor, right underneath the shoulders. Do your little shimmy from side to side. Okay, We're gonna bring our hands back. Fingertips line up with the lower third of the ribs. Toes are curled under. Your choice, knees down or knees up. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, press up. Downward facing dog. We're gonna do all these poses on the other side. Inhale, lift the left foot up. Exhale, bring the left foot forward. So the left foot's coming outside of the left arm. We're doing that lizard lunge. My right hip is not going anywhere. Chest reaches forward, shoulders back. All you're gonna do is let that left knee drop out and then hug it in. Right leg is perfectly still. Left knee drops out. Left knee hugs in. 2 more. 1 more. Hug that left knee in. You're gonna spin your right heel to the ground. Push into the floor with strong legs. Inhale, cartwheel yourself up, warrior 2. Drop your shoulders down, lift your chest up. We're gonna go into a triangle. Straighten that left leg. Bring the left hand forward and down. Block or shin. Right arm goes up. So you're gonna rotate that arm in the shoulder socket. So your thumb's pointing back. Drop that arm behind your back. And then see how far you can scooch it. You can even use your left hand and see if you can get your right hand down a little bit further. Ribs push back into that forearm. If your low back feels funky, a little bit of space left to right between the feet, and then look down. And imagine somebody's pulling that right elbow back towards your right heel, so you can get more stretch through the side of this head. Or not the side of your head, the side of your neck. You can even bobble your head a little. Good, then go ahead, bend this left knee. Inhale, come up, radiant warrior. My right hand is still hanging there, waving. It's attached to my left leg. Big deep breath in here. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step back, high plank. Take a big deep breath in here. Downward dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Drop your head down. Give it a little bit of shake. Okay, you can do this as kind of a passive forward fold, just hanging out here. Maybe if the neck is tight, you can give yourself a little tug here, a little traction. If you'd like to go for a deeper hamstring stretch, we're going to take the first 2 fingers and the thumb, loop them around the big toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, nice deep fold here. Drop your head down. Give it a little shake. You've got a hold of your feet. You're going to use your arms. Give yourself a little tug. Think elbows out to the side and then whoop, circle them back. So your elbows point back towards the back of your legs. Good, 1 more big deep breath in here. And then exhale, you're gonna walk your hands back out to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your right foot up behind you. Exhale, right foot's coming forward, outside of the hand, coming into that lizard lunge. I'm gonna come over here. Okay, so now you are the melting saltwater taffy. This back leg is not gonna be strong like a board. You are going to, see that left foot behind you? You're gonna roll onto the pinky toe side of that left foot. So already your ankle's getting kind of loose. Bring your right hand onto your right knee and then feel like you're melting. As you twist and kind of look over your right shoulder, your left outer hip drop towards the floor. This is the saltwater taffy melt. If I were to push into my left foot and come up, it'd be like a side plank, okay? It's too hot for a side plank today. Just let your saltwater taffy melt and get a nice big outer hip stretch. Big deep breath in here. Exhale, come back to center. Put that left knee on the ground. We're gonna melt side to side. Right knee comes out. You're gonna push into the inside of that right leg and lean your torso back. So you're leaning back to the left with your upper body, right knee out to the side. Kind of melting in a different direction. Big deep breath in here. Exhale, come back to center. We're gonna lift the back knee just like we did before. Drop that left heel onto the floor. Inhale, come up into your warrior two. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale, sweep that right arm up. Exhale, we're gonna straighten the right leg and just kind of fold forward. Nice loose triangle. You do hand on your hip. You can do that left hand up to the sky. Shoulders drop down away from your ears. 3 breaths here. Trying not to work too hard. There's a lot of stability here, but we don't want to have a lot of edge on that. Okay, rotating again a little bit. Okay, so from this triangle pose, we're gonna bring the hands down. You're gonna have to bend this right knee to make some space a little bit. Come up onto the ball of that left foot, and then take this right leg and shoot it over to the left. You probably need to see it this way, right? Okay, so it's like my triangle is breakdancing. But if I drop my hips towards the ground, and I have more of my saltwater taffy melting, I get a nice big stretch through the outside of that hip. This is like a plank that got twisted. This is a big, huge outer hip stretch. They're both called fallen triangle or drunken triangle or something like that. Good. Drop your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Just pedal out the knees. Walk those hands back again. Feet about hips width distance apart. You can do your passive forward fold. You can do that yoga toe lock. Or if it fits with your hamstrings, you can do a little gorilla hand. Palm of the hand underneath the sole of the feet. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, elbows draw back behind you. Top of the head towards the floor. Tailbone towards the sky. Big deep breath in. And then exhale, we're gonna walk our downward dog back out. Do this on the other side. Left leg lifts. You're gonna bring it forward, outside of that left hand. Okay, so we're gonna let the right leg kind of melt a little bit. Come onto the pinky toe side of the right foot. Start to rotate your body. Left hand pressing into that left knee. As I twist, I let my right hip drop. Really nice top and leg outer hip stretch on a lot of people. You might just have it on one side versus the other. If I were to fire up this bottom leg, it would be like a plank. You can feel that for a moment and then drop out of it. Feel the stretch. Yoga pose drop out. This is the plank. This is our melty hip pose. Go ahead, come out of it. We're gonna put back knee to the ground. Keep that left knee out to the side. Walk your hands to the right. Left knee moves left. Heart moves right. Opening up through the chest. Letting this right front hip drop towards the floor. Back to center. We're gonna lift the back knee. Drop the back heel. Cartwheel yourself up, warrior two. Whew, shoulders drop down, spine gets long. Inhale. Left arm lifts up behind you. Exhale, we're gonna drive that left leg towards straight. Come forward into your triangle pose. Almost finished with the standing poses. Try not to make this too rigid. You know, how can I stay long? How can I keep some integrity in the pose without overdoing it? Maybe look down, relax your neck. And then we're gonna sweep hands to the floor. You're gonna pick up that left foot, slide it over to the right. I'm on the ball of my right foot, by the way. My right heel is lifted. And I wanna think about this right hip crease dropping towards the floor as I lift my chest. That's how I get the big stretch through the outside of the left leg. You can, by the way, play with the position of this left foot. And feel what that plank feels like. Drop down into this Saltwater taffy of the outer hip. Collarbones wide, heart lifts. You do little shifts. And then go ahead, come out of this. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward, high plank. I'm shifting this way again. Bring your hands to the floor, forehead onto your hands. Bend your knees. Take a little windshield wiper from side to side. Bring your toes back to the floor. Draw your shoulders back in space. Slowly come up into Sphinx. Good. So this might be where you stay. You could do this with blocks too. We're going to think of this more like, if any of you are practicing yin, today would be a great day for yin. This is more like a seal, kind of hanging it for a little bit. So I have my elbows on the blocks, and I'm really lifting my chest up. Some of you might be able to do this with hands on the ground. Pull your elbows back in space, lift your chest. Collarbones are wide. 3 easy breaths. Opening up through the belly. And then lift your hips. Let's push back into child's pose. If you were using blocks on that seal, Sphinx, you can also use blocks here so the hands are a little bit elevated. Circle your triceps towards the ground. Drop the forehead towards the ground. And then just go ahead and walk yourself back. So Virasana, this hero's pose where the shins are tucked underneath the body. If this does not feel good on your knees, just do your regular comfortable seat. If you want to put a block or a pillow or a blanket underneath your hips for a little extra space, do that. We're going to be here for a moment. So the first thing I want you to do is just drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And you're just going to take your right hand, and you're not pulling hard, you're just letting the weight of your right hand kind of tug the outside line of your neck. Kind of turn. I'm going to give you a little bit of a back view here. Good. Try not to let my chin dip, keeping my chin kind of in line with my chest. Now left hand goes out to the side. It's just like we did on that triangle pose. You're going to rotate your arm so your left thumb points down, and then sweep that arm behind your back. Left shoulder moves towards the floor. Sorry, left elbow moves towards the floor. Right elbow moves towards the floor. Take a big deep breath in here. And then exhale, just drop your right hand towards your right thigh and drop your chin towards the notch of your throat. And just kind of roll your head a little bit side to side. Good. That's all we're doing. Then you're going to do the other side. So, which is left ear towards the left shoulder. I think it was those so long ago. Left hand just kind of rests on the side of the head. Right arm's going out to the side. I'm going to circle that right hand so palm comes back behind me. And then swing the hand behind your back. Kind of scooch it as far as you can get it. Right elbow towards the ground. Left elbow towards the ground. Go ahead, drop that left hand towards the left thigh. Drop your chin towards the notch of your throat. Maybe give a little movement side to side. Good. And bring the right hand forward. Sit up tall. Draw your shoulders back in space. Close your eyes. Let's do 5 more of those Shatali breaths. So your little tongue straw, either going front to back or that rolled over side to side. Big deep breath in through your straw. And then relax your tongue, close your mouth, exhale, breathe out through your nose. 4 more at your own breath pace. And then just observe. Notice if there's any sensation of cool. Notice if you feel kind of agitation or heat building up anywhere. If you were sitting on something, you're going to move it out of the way. And we're just going to drop both of our hips to the right. So you're going to do right foot on that left knee, and the left foot still kind of tucked back behind you. A very relaxed mermaid pose. And then you're just kind of leaning back from here. Some of you may not lean very far. This left knee might come up. Your intention is to keep the left knee down, but that doesn't always happen. By the way, if this bothers the left knee, stick something underneath it so you can push into it. Some of you might be able to get really low here. Take about 5 breaths wherever you are. If this feels like your low back is arching a lot, draw your belly button towards your spine, tuck your tailbone under. That should increase the stretch through the front of that left hip without aggravating the low back as much. Okay. Push into the floor. And I just want you to lean over this right leg. Bring your forehead towards your hands. And take 3 breaths and breathe into kind of low back both sides. Really feel the back bottom ribs open up with the inhale. Shoulders, head relax with the exhale. 1 more. Good, bring yourself up. And then we're just gonna switch direction of the legs. So now the right foot is kind of tucked back. Left foot comes towards the right knee. Pad up under this knee if you need to. And then your intention is to go back. And you'll notice I'm kind of lining myself up a little more with this right leg. Because if I lean back more towards the right, I'm going to increase this right quad hip flexor stretch. Again, if you feel this in your back, try to kind of tuck your pelvis. Tailbone forward, belly button back. And some of you might be able to go a little deeper. Again, you might need to pad up under this right knee. From here, we're going to come up, and as you come up, you can also lean left and kind of roll up and then lie down over top of this left knee. Focus on your breath opening up all the way down to those back bottom ribs. Again, kind of thinking about the lower third of your ribs. Bring yourself up. And all you're going to do is angle yourself back down onto the floor, coming down onto your mat. We're gonna do left leg long on the floor. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then we'll take a twist. Right knee comes over to the left. Kind of use that hand. I'm taking my right arm, dropping it out to the side. Maybe a little bend in that elbow. Come back to center. Hug the right knee in. And then switch legs. Right leg is long. Left knee comes in. Left leg's going over to the right. Left arm opens out to the side. And then come back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. And then stretch them out long. Coming into Shavasana, your final resting pose. Arms by your side, palms face up. You can use either your beach towel or your blocks. Create a little lift underneath the knees. Invite a little movement into your body. Maybe just kind of rock the feet a little bit side to side. Fanning motion. And then kind of do that with the arms. A little fanning motion. If it feels good to bend the knees and put the feet on the floor and to fan the knees side to side, you can. Maybe as the knees go to the left, your face turns to the right. And when the knees go right, your face turns left, and vice versa. It's kind of inviting some movement, gentle sweeping movements. And then you're gonna slowly pull those knees up into your chest. Give your body a squeeze. And then roll all the way over to one side. Come up to sit. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Sit up tall. Relax your shoulders. Back of the neck is long. Relax your chin. Taking just one moment of pause before the rest of the day happens. Before our practice ends. Breathe life into that intention one more time. And then as you exhale, hands to heart center, bow your heads down. We'll end here. Namaste.